Well, just 7 points separate the playoffs and the relegation zone in the Championship. That's how tight it is heading into the final international break of the year. Argyle are at Derby this afternoon, hoping to go level on points with the Rams. After midweek wins for both of these sides, confidence will be high, and all the build-up is coming your way over the next half an hour here on Argyle TV. Now, the Greens won a thriller the last time they played at Pride Park a couple of years ago. Are we in store for another cracker today? Well, as always, this is the place to follow all of the action. Hello, I am Charlie Price, and this is the pre-match show on Argyle TV. We are almost up to the final little mini break of the year. 14 matches down, and the table hasn't really settled down at all, has it? You could at any stage put a little run together and start flying up the table. Both of these sides, Argyle and Derby County, will be hoping to do just that. Now, match passes are available to purchase on our website right now. If you're in the UK, then audio match passes will cost you £2.50. But if you are an international fan, then you can watch the game in full from 3 o'clock. £10 it'll cost you. Just head to pafc.co.uk and click on the Argyle TV tab. Well, joining me for the next couple of hours and helping to build up to the Championship game at Pride Park is a former Argyle and Derby County defender, Mark Edworthy. Afternoon, Mark.
Yeah, good afternoon, Charlie. Looking forward to the game. As I said, two teams, good midweek wins, and obviously Derby at home today. As we've just seen some of the footage there, fantastic place to play, great stadium. Argyle were taking a great support up, as they always do, away from home. And looking forward to a good game this afternoon. Yeah,
1,800 Argyle fans making the journey up. Considering they've not seen a win on the road all season, that's mightily impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's difficult. I think it just puts pressure, as we said previously, in the home games. A great win here against Portsmouth midweek, but you have to, at some stage, start getting something on the road. I think we both did the game last time. It was a fantastic game, 3-0, Argyle victorious, and it was a real spectacle. And I spoke to a few Derby fans after that game and during that period, and they did say it was the best away performance they'd seen. So hopefully Argyle can reflect on that and go up there and really try to get something there this afternoon.
It would take something to have a game similar to that again.
It would. It would. It'd be nice if it happened, though.
It would. Just on Derby quickly before we get into the team news and stuff, they've actually got an identical home record to Argyle this season in terms of wins, points, draws, etc. And they're good at home, but they did manage to get their first away win midweek as well, which will no doubt count for something coming into this.
Yeah, certainly will. I think, at home, as we've seen here with Argyle, they've put on some sterling performances. We talked about the Sunderland game, the Preston comeback, which is unbelievable. Could have won that 4-3 maybe. The Blackburn game, the Luton, the list goes on and on. Some fantastic performances. And Derby, rightly so, have done the same there at Pride Park. But on the road, they both struggled. And obviously Derby picked up a really good win against Coventry midweek after failing to beat Stoke just before. And the games were very similar regarding, tactically, but the performances were different. Against Stoke, they were out of the game, and against Coventry, they played really well. So I think it is the Championship revealing itself, whereas we've been unfortunate away from home at times, narrowly losing 1-0 to Millwall. We talked about the game, Charlie. Look at the run they've gone on. Yeah. And it just goes to show that people look at the league table very early on. We're 14 games in now, and you can leapfrog with the 3 points, potentially 8 or 10 places today. You could get up the table, and it all looks a lot nicer on the Monday morning when people go to work and look where your team are placed. But you've got to start winning on the road for sure. Yeah,
well, let's see whether Argyle can do that today. Here's the Argyle side chosen to try and get that first away win of the season. As you can see, plenty of changes actually from Tuesday night. There are 4 in total. Adam Randall comes straight back in and captains the side after missing the last couple of matches with an injury. And 3 of the front 4 are changed, with Callum Wright, Michael Obafemi and Mustafa Bundu starting. It's pretty much, Mark, the same side, bar 1 or 2, that finished the game against Portsmouth midweek, isn't it?
Yeah, 4 changes. I think, lots of quality in there again, lots of pace, but the mentality away from home, I think, just has to change. We go there with a point this afternoon. That coming away from Pride Park this afternoon with a point would be a fantastic result. It just eases the pressure a bit more at home park and the home games. But it's a difficult place to go. the expectation at Pride Park will be big. So somehow Wayne Rooney and his team have got to quiet that crowd.
And there he is, Wayne Rooney. Familiar surroundings for him. One of his former sides. First club that he managed as well at Derby County. He'll be hoping he can get away from there with the victory, of course. Just looking back at Tuesday night and looking at the team, the area that stayed the same is the defensive shape. Mark, and we got our first clean sheet of the season against Portsmouth. Cornell Such has been the sort of mainstay of that. And he's impressed you, hasn't he, from what you've seen of him so far?
Yeah, he's been excellent and fully deserved his man of the match performance midweek. A clean sheet is huge for defenders. And they always say it's the defenders and the goalkeeper who earn that, but it's not. It's collectively throughout the squad. All 11 players on the pitch, even the players who come off the bench, contributed to that clean sheet. And they'll need something like that at Pride Park this afternoon. But he's settled in superbly well. Really, really good defender. I like him. He's quite calm and collective, but also aggressive when he needs to be against any striker he comes up against. So Such, for me, has been playing really well.
And to have settled in to not only a new team and a new league, but a new country, to have done it so quickly seems quite impressive, doesn't it?
Yeah, for a young man as well, 23 years of age, in that defensive role. But yeah, commanding performance. I think Pasquale did really well with him. Peg in the week. I think that partnership was really good, and it is nice at times if you can collectively keep your back four, not too many changes. You see some highlights here. Very calm on the ball. His passing accuracy. This is the shot that led to the goal, the winner against Sunderland, which was a fantastic game. And we see some clips of him here, which he gets himself in really good positions. I mean, that's a fantastic position. You're getting good clearance, and he embraces that challenge. And he's been superb this season. Yeah,
wonder just how much of a boost the clean sheet will have given to him and the rest of the defenders coming into this one. Let's have a look at the Derby County side. As mentioned, they won in midweek as well against Coventry, their first away win of the season. But they've been good at home. They've got 4 victories at Pride Park so far this season. Paul Warren has actually made 3 changes to the team that beat Coventry in midweek. Erin Cashin is suspended. He picked up his 5th yellow card of the season. So Kane Wilson will come in to replace him along the back line. And we think there might be a change of shape as well. The evergreen Craig Forsyth and Nathaniel Mendes-Lang, 2 players to also come in to the side. They're solid, Mark, I think, is what the way I'd describe Derby. They've taken to life in the Championship quite nicely. Yeah, they have. Mendes-Lang is a superb player, great experience. Craig Forsyth, know Craig well, and he's been magnificent there. He really has been an ambassador for the football club, and continually with his experience is vital for the football club. And Yates and Jackson are going to be ones to watch. They've got lots of pace and power in their side. So very similar to us. There's 2 pacey teams, aren't they? So it's really going to be the ones who come out on top defensively and really orchestrates that. Who's going to be victorious this afternoon? Yeah, you mentioned the defensive. It could be decided defensively. We spoke about Cornell Such a moment ago. Curtis Nelson will be the linchpin for them. He's chipped in with a couple of goals. He'll be fondly remembered, of course. Played over 200 times for Argyle. And he could be the key for them, a bit like Such for us in leading the back line for Derby. You're really good. I mean, just seeing the highlights now, 2 magnificent goals from set plays, 2 really good headers. Again, experience, playing against his old side. He's gone on to have a great time at Derby County. And they do rely on a lot of set plays as well, something that's worked on the training ground, and they are a threat from set plays. So Argyle really got to be on their toes, and concentration is key to winning this game this afternoon. Yeah, I think I'm right in saying him with 2 goals is joint top scorer, but I think there's about 4 of the Derby players. Yeah, there's a number of players who scored a few goals, and they're coming from different areas of the field, which helps a bit for the strikers. Mendes-Lang's got a couple, Yates and Jackson threat, but vitally a lot of games are decided now from set play situations. And that's something Argyle certainly on the road I've got to be, wary of. And concentration, as I said, and making sure you're close enough and tight enough. And it's that familiar saying, make sure the man you're marking doesn't score. Yeah, Argyle will be hoping that it's not the return of the old player. As I mentioned, Wayne Rooney is returning. They'll be hoping the return of the old manager could be working in their favour to Pride Park. He started his managerial career at Derby County. So how is he feeling about heading back there today? We've got fond memories of the last time we went to Pride Park. You obviously were there as a player and a coach as well. Are you looking forward to going back up to Derby?
Yeah, no, obviously it'd be nice to see some old friends and familiar faces, and people I work with for a while and under very difficult circumstances. So yeah, be nice to see some old friends. But yeah, hopefully we can go there and get the 3 points.
Only be a nice trip if you come back with a win, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's obviously, we're going into it having won on Tuesday night. Having kind of looked back on things, I imagine, have you, how do you kind of assess that game and where we are moving into the weekend?
Yeah, no, listen, it was a very important game, and I stressed this to the players before the game kicked off, that regardless of how we perform, how we play, the 3 points is vital tonight, and it's really important that we come off the pitch with 3 points, however the performance is, and it weren't the best game, weren't the best performance, but I think we showed a good grit and determination, clean sheet, which is always important, and then obviously we come away with getting the late goal again, so you're delighted with the 3 points.
I asked you about how you feel going back up to Derby, having been there before. Do you Morgan's going back, having played there as well. Do you ever, is that a thing for footballers and coaches when you go back to an old club that you want to do extra to be better, or not really? No,
I think more so as a player. I think as a player, of course, you're on the pitch, and I'm sure Morgan will get a bit of stick when he goes back on Saturday. That's he's been back before a few times, I think, and had that stick. So as a player, yeah, I think it's always something you look for. As a manager, of course, you're focusing on just trying to get the win, the same as any other game. And of course, it'd be nice to go back and see some familiar faces who I've worked through difficult moments with, and the fans who we went through a lot together. It'd be nice to see them, but ultimately I'm going there to try and win the game.
Yeah, going there to try and win the game, and he mentioned in that chat there, Mark, about Tuesday night, and he basically giving the message to the players that was we just have to win today, and we saw it happen eventually in a different style to what we've maybe been used to at home. Is that something that can be carried in to away games to maybe just change up the way in which you want to play, maybe sacrifice a bit of the openness to be a bit more resilient and try and arrest the form away from home?
Yeah, I think so. I think the case is you're not going to have the perfect performance, and fans want that. But at home, the pressure is on. You want to be entertained. Obafemi comes off the bench and scores a well-earned result. But Portsmouth were really up for the game, and it was you could sense the tension at the game and the atmosphere, and it was a huge game. And obviously, a clean sheet was huge, and to win the game 1-0 was great, leading into today's performance. But people ask me the question, the perfect performance doesn't happen on time, win ugly. Be hard to beat, be aggressive. And that's something I think Wayne wants to do this afternoon. Yes, he's going back there. Hopefully he'll get a good welcome, but he's going back there to win the game. He was working there in difficult circumstances. The crowd took to him, and he's very unfortunate not to keep the club in the league, and they ended up getting relegated. But it was difficult times for him, and what he had to work with, he did a sterling job. So I'm pretty sure he'll get a warm reception, but then it's down to business, and he'll know that. We'll come there, we'll be hard to beat, and quiet the crowd. There'll probably be 30,000 there at Pride Park. Great place to play, fantastic stadium, and he's got to go there and put on this, stern performance and pride in performance in your role. As we said, the fans have come up. There's a long way for Argyle fans, the Green Army, to travel up. So give them something back. Give them something coming back on the M5. The A38 to cheer about.
Yeah, how do you think they'll go about it, Argyle? Do you think they will be a bit more sort of pragmatic?
I think you've got to be hard to beat. You go there, they're going there with a point, and I think at times we're probably too open, and you can't. You got to make sure you're organised, as I'm sure they are. They've done everything on the training ground. They know everything about Derby County and how they play, and the emphasis is on them to attack, and you'll see that at home because they want to entertain their home fans, but. You've got to go there solid, and it's a case of do your jobs properly, Charlie. You've got to be, concentration is key, and make sure make it difficult for the opposition to play against you, and the player you're marking against individually win your individual battles. And if you do that collectively over the team, hopefully they will come out with something this afternoon.
Yeah. Well, let's hear from the opposition side now. Paul Warne has seen his side start life back in the Championship pretty nicely indeed. What is he expecting from this afternoon against Argyle?
Well, talking of poor away records, your opponents this weekend have a shocking one. They've taken 1 point on the road this season.
Yeah, but again, not dissimilar to us. They've been brilliant at home, like we have. Picked up a lot of points. We played Hull 2 weeks ago at home, and everyone understood what a tough game that would be. And Plymouth are on the same amount of points as Hull, so I'm well aware that we're going to have to be at our very best. They've got real pace in the team. They have a real courage of how they play. So I don't underestimate them in any way. I'm not. I know the fact that we hadn't won prior to this week, but it wasn't meaning that we weren't really competitive in all the games. We should have won at Oxford, should have won at Millwall, but we didn't. And no doubt, if the Plymouth manager's being asked the question today, he'll say the same thing.
Wayne Rooney is that Plymouth manager. A huge name in football, and of course was here for a season and a bit.
Yeah, I don't think I can say anything that would add to Wayne's legacy. I mean, I've obviously managed against him, and no doubt he'll get a really good ovation when he comes back to the club. But I don't think there's that many players that were here when he was here, and it doesn't make any difference, respectfully, to our dressing room or anything that we do. I think that's more for the fans than it is for any of us.
Obviously, one enforced change this weekend. Aaron Cashin suspended.
Yeah, and we'll look to, as we always do, we look to find a way to win. We look to find a way to hurt the opposition, and we look to, pick the best team. So obviously losing Cash, and a very harsh way to lose Cash. So it's disappointing. It's sad to lose Cash, but as I always say, with injuries or suspension, it's no drama. It's just next man up. So we'll make the changes where we see fit to hopefully be really competitive against a really decent Plymouth team.
Yeah, they never really belonged down in League One. We know the circumstances in which they ended up falling through the Championship. But he's done a good job, hasn't he? It was difficult to take over from Liam Rossini, who was really well liked there. But he's tried and trusted in League One, and he's got them out, and he's got them going in the Championship as well, hasn't he, Paul?
He really has. It is a big club with big expectations. Former Premier League team as well. Has done a sterling job, and you can see the respect value there for Plymouth. He knows they're going to be hard to beat. He knows what to expect. So he's prepared their team properly for this. We talked about Aaron Cash, and he's a big blow for them because I think he's a super talent, really out and out defender, leads by example. So he just gets on with it. They'll replace him. They'll get someone in, opportunities for other players. And I think you talked about ex-players going back, ex-managers going back. He's rightly that's for the fans to sort of deal with.
Yeah,
obviously,
they don't care about that, do they?
Yeah, they don't really care about that. It's down to business. We know we've got Morgan Whittaker going back there, and he'll want to put on display. You don't expect to get a good reception from your fans. I think that's what it is, because it's the fear factor. They know Morgan's a good player, and I know potentially if Morgan's playing well, he will hurt Derby County this afternoon. Yeah,
he scored in that 3-2 win as well. I think he started the comeback, didn't he?
I think the game we did, that fantastic game, wasn't it, the 3-2 victory. He scored, and you could just tell, the respect value there, because his celebration, he just picked the ball at that and literally ran back to the centre circle. So, he put on a really good performance midweek. He didn't score, but I think team-wise, he really put on a sterling performance, and he might need that away from home this afternoon. Yeah,
just very finally, we saw the pictures there. It's filling up at Pride Park. How do you see it going? What's your hunch saying?
Well, I think it's a fantastic place to play, and I think when the fans make that, and I think when the players enter the field, it's a fantastic arena, and that should give you a huge amount of confidence and belief. And I think they've got to go out there and put on a display. Hopefully, this will be the day where they start the away form and get some results, because, as we said, it just gives the team a bit of a relief, because I think ultimately it just puts too much pressure on the home games, knowing you're not winning on the road.
Yeah. Point today would probably be fine.
Point would be fantastic. Point away from home. I think anyway, sometimes you've got to win ugly, and you take the all-day win. I'm sure Wayne Rooney would take that. It hasn't got to be a fantastic spectacle all the time, but a point away to Derby County will be a fantastic result.
Yeah, right. Let's see if they can do it then. The game is coming up very, very quickly. Remember, there'll be all the remembrance commemorations before kickoff as well, ahead of the game. But we're pretty much done here for the pre-match show. We'll be back at half-time. Remember, match passes can be found on our website right now, both audio and video. Rob McNichol and the former Argyle striker Ryan Brunt are standing by for commentary. Argyle's trip to Derby is next.